Yar! Welcome aboard the Cringe. I'm your captain, Joey, Joey. And today we are kicking off episode 204 of Chores and Tours on a 5-star island. Ah. I wonder if we're going to have red today. That happened the first time. Good morning, everyone. I appreciate all the likes, subscribes, and comments. I hope your day is going well. Mine certainly is. I slept in a little bit later today. And as soon as I'm done doing this, I get to go shovel my driveway. Love it. I did not clear the beaches this morning, so it's going to be a big shell day. Two more. All right, let's get going. And this should be a fake, so. A wrestling figure. All right, without further ado, let's get going. Is that a fly? Ah! That was my first fly of the season. I think I already have one. Cricket. Bell cricket. Maybe I don't. Oh, it's evening. Maybe I don't have a fly. Huh? Well, maybe I'll have to pay better attention. Unless that's a mole cricket, and I didn't know. Ugh. I shut off the microphone in time so you didn't hear my sneeze. All right. Just glad I had that already. Okay. I always forget. I can never tell if I've gone to somebody's backyard after I come out a door. Beverage of choice this morning is coffee. Pretty much like every morning. And I still need to clean this up a little bit. Ah, beautiful. I was so engaged on the stone, I didn't know if there was any logs. There we go. I was watching a few videos yesterday on the new electric vehicles, the little mini pickups coming to the United States. There's 2 startup companies. One's called Tello, which fits in the size of about a Mini Cooper. Which is shocking. And it actually looks uniquely different. It's kind of intriguing my interest. It has a lot of the same startup figures as, you know, the Tesla. Not the initial. They have the original CEO of the Tesla, or the originator of the Tesla. Can't remember his name, but it's not Musk. He's one of the backers, which is interesting. So they have a couple of concepts already, and it looks like one of the K trucks that you see in Japan or China, but it's uniquely different. It's pretty cool. The other one is the Slate. That one's originates in, I think it was designed in Michigan. They have a plant in here. It's pretty cool. That one's built on a different technique. They, ooh, we're going to try this again. I think this is a tiger beetle. Yep. Here I am thinking it's a fly. So the Slate has a different technique. It's going to be under 30 grand. And it comes as a base model pickup. All the pickups look the same. And you get to customize it any way you want. Including, you can make it a SUV type style, like a Bronco. Or similar to a Bronco. Or you can have a straight pickup, but you can order the kits right from the company. And the truck is designed to work with everything. But it doesn't come with a radio. Okay, a sprungoid. And I did not pay attention. A waroid. So we do not need those. In case anybody's wondering, we need oinkoids, which is 2 of them, and a wallopoid. So that's where we stand right now. Yeah, so they look kind of cool. They're both going to be under 50 grand, which is shocking to me, but pretty standard nowadays. I try to keep my car prices around 20 grand or under. And typically I'm under if I can help it. I did buy one for 22. And that's the most expensive one I've ever purchased. I just don't see the need. I don't know. I'm different. Yeah, but the Tello looks pretty neat. It's a different look for what we're used to in the States. And it's more designed upon city driving. So both of them are kind of city geared. But one is supposed to be like Micro City, which is the Tello, right? So you can park and play downtown and fit in a normal parking space without a struggle. In the United States, they build trucks bigger. You know, you have a 5-foot grill. So the concept's a little different for the United States. For both of them, actually. You know, I didn't even check. All right. All right. Yeah, the slate kind of reminds me of an anagram from Tesla. Right? Same letters. But they're saying it's designed off the car because they all come out as a blank slate. And you get to change it any way you want. I think it's backed by Bezos. So they have a lot of startup capital. But it's bare bones. You know, crank windows. There we go. Okay. So crank windows, a radio. Oh. Oh. That is not what I meant to do. Put away. I take that back. It's not going to have radio. So that one is going to be the bare bones. And I'm talking extremely bare bones. You bring your Bluetooth and connect it to your phone, kind of bare bones. And they give you a room to put a Bluetooth speaker. And that's it. Right. It's going to have an electric instrument cluster. But not much more than that. I kind of like it because it's taking technology out of the picture. A lot of the cars in the States are coming with a ton of technology. And that tends to be the bigger problem. They're both battery powered. The Slate is going to be like a micro battery, so it's going to be like 250 miles or 240 mile range. And that's with an extender. And then the Tello is going to be 350. So it's kind of cool. It's interesting. I love seeing technology change. What's up, Anteater? Pango? That's interesting. Yeah, so the concepts are cool. And both of them are, you know, the Tello's going to start at about 41 and change. Or 41,000. And that's without tax incentives. So if you get tax incentives, it'll be lower. At least for the states. The states, they offer a tax incentive. And I think it just expired. And the Slate should be about mid-25. But it kind of looks like an old Ford Ranger or an old Ford Bronco. Kind of has that same look. I don't know, like an old Bronco too. And I'm talking about the United States versions. So I'm not sure what it looked like overseas. And then Ford is going to release a Ranchero, which is a two-door truck. And I think it's going to be built on the Escape body. I just kind of, you know. I just like vehicles. You know, when you live in Michigan, it's pretty much a standard. You know. Beautiful. I mean, pretty much everybody loves cars in here. You know. Even now, even though the auto industries are, you know, going haywire with their prices. I got a chance to see the new VW bus. That was pretty cool looking. I saw one driving around in my town. And I kind of liked it. The Tello is going to have a similar vibe. It's not going to be exact, but there's a similar vibe. When you see it, you'll understand. It's a pretty cool looking truck. They've got, so they're both of those new trucks, the Tello and the Slate, are aimed at, you know, younger drivers. One's geared towards city driving. The other's geared towards city driving, but more of a DIY. Change it how you want to kind of thing. They're both going to have add-ons and stuff. So, it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Okay, we're going to leave Dharma here. I don't know what happened to Greg. You have to know 90s sitcoms in order to get that one. Well, that is not what I meant to do. I meant to release it. Yeah, it's an old sitcom. It was kind of interesting. It wasn't good, but I mean, it was funny. It had moments. All right, go up. I mean, it wasn't bad, you know. Yeah, I'm intrigued by both of those. I don't have an electric vehicle, and I may never get one, but the concept is enough, and I think the reliability is there now. You know, I wouldn't have bought a first wave Tesla. Release. Just because the reliability wasn't there. I don't know. If you grow up around cars, they tell you never to buy the first model. So, you know, it's kind of a normal. And you don't buy cars that are built on a Monday or a Friday. Because that's when auto workers kind of slack a little bit. I don't know how true that is, but that's pretty common for reliability standards. Okay, this one might be... Oh, good. Which one is this? A boomoid. We do not need a boomoid, but thank you. All right, we're going to get out of here. Yeah, it's pretty cool when you work around the auto industries. There's a lot. So Slate has a construction company, you know, about 20 miles from here, which is really cool. I like the concepts of both of these vehicles, and they're geared towards different problems in the market, right? So one's geared towards inner city living, hard to find parking, small parking spaces, that kind of stuff, which is the Tello. And then the other one is kind of a car that's supposed to grow with you, right? So you buy it in your 20, 24, and then it starts out as a pickup. And then if you need to change it into an SUV, you can buy like a $4,000 kit and do that. So it's going to be completely customizable, which is kind of cool. They don't come with a paint job. Everything's the same color right off the lot, which is going to reduce cost. So it's really kind of cool. If you follow technology, it's really cool to listen to. And most of us growing up in the 80s, you know, that was pretty common. You know, finding technology, growing with technology. So, I don't know. I just find that stuff cool. And both of these are approaching production a little differently. Like Slate has backing, so they can go bigger into production. Both of them are slated to come out the end of this year. But they're both approaching, you know, startup a little differently, which I find is cool. So Slate can manufacture more because they have Jeff Bezos' backing. And then Tello is building in like I want to say you know, less than 1 acre garage, not even an acre, right? It's a small place. They have 11 employees. But they have backing from the significant players because the concept's so cool. So they don't have the industry. They're going to build the industry as they grow, right? So right now everything's going to start out composite, like for panels and stuff, and then as they grow, it'll turn to metal once they can afford to upgrade and that kind of stuff. So they're approaching manufacturing a little bit different, you know, kind of the old school way, like Ford did, Henry Ford, you know, those kind of pioneers. And when I say pioneers, it's United States pioneers, right? We weren't the first ones to invent the vehicle, right? That goes somewhere else. But we're the first ones to kind of develop manufacturing policies or problems, right? So like Ford created the assembly line to automate and can complete a consistent product that he could keep affordable for everybody. Oh, cool. We got a little mouse. What's up, Flurry? She's a McDonald's ice cream. Yeah, so I find it pretty cool. The Tello looks like a K-truck, just modern, right? And I do mean that. But it is cool enough that it's extremely intriguing. The Slate is cool because it's kind of retro. Both of them are going to be fairly bare bones. And when I say bare bones, they're not going to come with overpowering, you know, things that you can buy in normal cars. Both of them are intended to be, you know, back to the basics kind of philosophies. There we go. I almost messed that. I do that every time. way. Yeah, so I think it's kind of cool. Both of them are uniquely different. And I find that amazing. So the Tello's going to have a version at like 41,000 and the other one's going to be up to 46. Right. So that's their market. So I think that's kind of cool. That they have a team of 11 people, started 3 years ago, and they already have 2 mock-up versions of it. Which is unheard of. Oh, there I am with my watering can. Put you away. Yeah. As you can see, I was watching a lot yesterday. Place. Yeah, I still think it's pretty cool, though. Slate's made in... I think they're going to be out of Warsaw, Indiana. But they have an office in California and an office in Detroit. Well, not really Detroit, a suburb. It's about 20 minutes, 25 minutes away from where I live. All right. And I did not know that before yesterday. Their CEO is, I mean, they're adamant about, you know, the average American person and the average person has an income that's well under $100,000. So our car markets are kind of forgetting that population, and they're kind of just, I don't know. It almost seems like the auto industry needs a bubble again. So they're building overpriced cars. They've been doing it for a while, but that's why it was a hit when Ford brought out the Maverick. The Maverick is a truck. It's a 4-door truck. I think it's a little big, but it's a 4-door truck that was priced at about $28,000. So they cut a lot of the bare bones. They stopped putting in overwhelming technology, which I am grateful for. So I just find that cool. My dad worked for one of the big three, so it's always cool when those kind of avenues, you know. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. You are not taking my snowboy. Yeah, so my dad worked for the big three, and you know, that's why we kind of grew up around this environment, right? So this is pretty normal for us. Come on. All right, let's go get this balloon. Oh, cool. What is that? Wow, that's a cool table. Oh, I didn't cut enough trees down. Okay. What's up, Kicks? Yeah, if you get a chance, check out both of those trucks, the Slate and the Tello. And they are uniquely different. They're similar in the concept they're trying to... the market they're trying to hit. But they both approach it from a completely different angle. And they're both uniquely different that they can both be successful. Which is pretty cool. Thanks, Izzy. All right. Well, the only thing we didn't do is go to red, and we'll do that on the way out. So that'll be closer to finishing up. And put that away. Make a dono? That's already... we already know this is fake. Yeah, I just like learning about that stuff. There were other cars I was looking at yesterday. One is called Aptera. That's more of a solar. The concept's cool. It's just designed like one of those extended cars that you would see that are racing out in the desert, trying to be the fastest car. But it's a solar powered, right? So it has to be with a non-traditional engine. So, but Aptera is built, it looks like a three-wheeled bike with solar, and the frame is completely composite. Yeah, we have to plant our tree as well. I wonder how much they give you for a money tree. You gotta be kidding me. Lots of big fish this morning. I'm a little upset at myself. I did not get a chance to go back on and play and pick up my festival stuff. Yeah. All right, buddy. I think we have this. Yep, we have it. All right. Later. You're good. Pretty funny that they put an old turtle as responsible for lifting all the heavy stuff out of your storage. That's pretty funny. Beverage of choice is coffee, and I'm still on my first cup. Yeah, in the future, I should pick which day I'm going to sleep in later, so it doesn't vary. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to try to do that, so my videos come out more consistently. I still publish a video every day. That is going to happen. But sometimes I'm like an hour or two different. And that's because the processing time and the time I wake up. So, plants. There we go. So I will make sure in the future that I'm a little bit more consistent. But I like to sleep in once a day. Or once a week. Once a day. Yeah. I try to. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you listening to me babble about cars. I always love new concepts. It's kind of interesting. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me for, I believe this is episode 204. Let's double check that. Yep, episode 204. I appreciate you. And thank you for all the likes, subscribes, and comments. And have a wonderful day. Bye.